Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. It is Thursday. It's Consciousness Conversation with Dr. Thomas and myself, Melissa. And we are excited for you to be here with us today in Central New York. It is a gray, cold, rainy day. So it's so nice to be sharing a hot cup of tea with all of you right now. So welcome and thank you for being here. And if you're watching on the replay, we enjoy that also. So please, hashtag replay. Let us know that you're here. And also join your energy to the group because it really does impact the energies that we're tapping into. So thank you for being here. So how are you today?
This is not hot tea.
No.
This is actually my own lemonade iced tea mix.
I was enjoying hot tea with you.
See, I can't do hot tea. I try. It doesn't have the flavor that I want. And hot drinks, like, I know we're talking about this today. I can change my perspective if I don't want to. Hot drinks, I take them slow. I like cold drinks.
Okay.
Here's all right. Look at this. We're jumping right into today's topic.
Here we go.
I didn't share this out yet. We're jumping into today's topic. Hold on. I'm going to share it out. Let me just share it out real fast. All right. Talk amongst yourself. See, can you even guess what I'm trying to say? So, I would originally say, I don't like hot drinks. Now, that's what I said. And I'm going to tell you the next thing. This is how I would normally say it, how many people say that this time. Oh my goodness, see, I'm ignoring the sharing. This is how most people would say this. I don't like hot drinks. They burn your tongue. They're going to burn my tongue. They burn your tongue. Okay, think about that for a second. Write in the comments, what is the problem with that statement?
It's like you're having an expectation that it's going to happen each and every time. So it's almost like you're putting that energy out there that that's going to happen. Hello, Darlene. Welcome. Welcome, honey. Welcome, everyone. So yes, we're talking about perception today and how to change your perception. Why it's important to change your perception. I think it's really important to change your perception. Like, if you get stuck in only thinking one thing one way, like you're not going to have any fun.
Mm-hmm. Very true. So here's where I'm getting with this one. We talk about the change in perception. We talk about I don't like this hot drink. That comes up in mind is it's going to burn my tongue, and it has burned my tongue, and my tongue has been left without the right taste buds for like 2 days.
Okay? Oh, I've taken out the whole roof of my mouth. I get it.
Right. So what I'm saying to, and I like flavor too. So, but what I'm saying here is, when we get messages, we're told messages, whether someone is talking to us, they're giving commentary about something, whatever it is, we often talk about it in that context of the negative, fear-based side. We're saying hot tea. So automatically I'm telling you hot tea is bad. Don't drink hot tea. Stacia's going to kill me now because I'm saying this. But don't drink hot tea. It's bad. It burns your tooth. That's why you don't drink. All right? Instead of hot tea. Oh, I'm glad you like it. For me, what I really love is I like cold drinks. For cold drinks, to me, they have a little more flavor, and they feel better. I like them better, easier for me to make, and so I like to drink cold drinks. Every once in a while, I'll do hot chocolate, but what I need to do with hot chocolate? I need to have extra almond milk or extra milk and whipped cream on top to cool it off a little bit, so it's better for me. Now, what I said to you, there are two different ways of explaining hot tea. Most of us go into right away with the bam. Here's why I don't like it. Here's why it's bad. Here's why you shouldn't do it. And even though the message is the hot tea, I'm presenting hot tea. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a hot tea, okay? It can be different flavors. We can add honey to it. We can talk about all the great things about it. But most people, when they have these conversations, when they have this information and they want to share it, they share their perspective, but they share it in a lot of times a fear-based. So what I said to you was, I'm afraid it's going to burn my mouth.
Yeah.
And not taste good.
Right.
So what I'm saying to you is, fear it.
Right.
Fear it. Instead of saying, it's good. You know what? I love this instead. So love this. You can love that too. Go for it. Wonderful. Your thoughts on that. But love this. Let's talk about what the positive and the putting the right, not spin.
Well, the other thing too is it's not even just positive or negative, but sometimes like when you're like, okay, so let's stay with the hot tea. So you're thinking hot tea, hot black tea, it's going to burn your mouth. It's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be an enjoyable experience. But, if you're open to perspective, and then you kind of meet someone that is like, I love hot tea because I get to have my peppermint tea. It's really great health benefit. It calms me. It makes me feel good. So now it's not this, it's still hot. It still has the potential to burn you. But by thinking of it or shifting your thoughts into, okay, what are the benefits, or just seeing that somebody else can enjoy it, it like opens you up to, okay, well, maybe I need to give it another shot, or maybe I need to not have black tea. I need to have peppermint tea, or I need to try herbal tea, or I have to put honey in it, or maybe I want to just drop an ice cube in it so it's warm, it's not hot. So yeah, but I think that if you can be open to other ways of being or doing, and not just staying in that narrow prescription of how you've experienced something in the past, or maybe the only way you've ever experienced something, and being open to kind of more possibilities and more ideas and more ways, then we're really allowing ourselves to expand our consciousness and expand our experience, and being able to not be so narrow-minded or closed-minded. And I'm getting like small-minded. Like a lot of people are right now are kind of staying very small-minded because that is like the energy that's out there right now. Like let's put fear into everything to keep everybody from staying in one place or doing one thing that they've always done it that way, or they've always thought about it that way.
It is, you said it the right way. So what you use the word, the fear. So imagine a group of people in a room. Okay? A group of people in a room having a discussion about anything, no matter. They're talking and their conversation is going. Now, the majority of the people in the room are going to start thinking about their own examples to give about the topic. And the most time it's about one-upping each other. But it's also about, woe is me, I've got the worst situation, it's so bad. And so we always are talking about the negative of things and how it goes. It's what we've been brought up to be like. We see it on TV. We see it in our parents, in our grandparents. I walked uphill 2 miles both ways to and home from school. Okay? We've been hearing these stories forever. Who had it worse? But the worst part about that if we could change the narrative, and we could be talking about how happy we are, everyone would be thinking about the happy things in their life. But they'd be like, they struggle with it. They would struggle with it, or they would. But that, just imagine if that was about the happiness. Because if they sat there and said, you need to think about things that bring you joy in your life, and you start a conversation with that, what is a good thing that happened to you today? What is that? And now all of a sudden, your mind has shifted from, oh my goodness, I stepped in a puddle, to, ooh, I tiptoed over a puddle, and then I saw this and I saw that, and you start bringing life into the conversation. You start thinking about all the good things, even the little things. But we are told, don't brag. Don't boast about, oh, I found a yellow M&M on the ground and it's my favorite color M&M. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But we are told, don't boast, don't brag, keep it in. But
Yeah.
oh, you can complain all you like because we love that. Because that tells us our life is better than yours. And you got it worse than us. And you need that and you need that. We just need to think differently because you'd be surprised. Go back to the group setting. And let's say we were giving away a prize or something. Oh, but that would not make a difference. Let's say you needed to do something good. The best example, here's the example we can. Let's say Melissa and I are both be arrested for, let's say we did something. Doesn't matter what we did. Okay, they put Melissa in one room, they put Thomas in another room. And they say, Melissa, you could get 30 years in prison. Or you tell us now what happened. You confess, we give you 2, and he gets 30. Or he gets whatever. They put people against each other. Mm-hmm. We put people against each other. And there's that fear. Mm-hmm. So when we live our life, we're choosing in a fear-based environment. We're thinking, what is the other person going to do? What do I need to say to make him happy? To not lose. And we often think that. Because the reality is, if we're both being interrogated, we both stay silent, we could be off scot-free. Or, like that happened to my brother. Oh my goodness, it happened to him. Yes, they both were like, oh, we weren't driving the car. Oh, I wasn't driving the car either. Well, one of them was driving the car, but no one knew who was driving it. So neither got in trouble. See how crazy some people can be? Mm-hmm. But that's how it goes. But you have to have that trust and faith in yourself. Trust and faith in others. Because deep down, everyone would choose love as their answer to any opportunity if it wasn't for the fear that they have, that it comes from other people because of how we were raised. So let's talk about this, changing your perspective. It's hard to do, very hard. Because whenever we are doing anything, we are in it. We are in it. And every single person has a bias. Do not say you do not, because you do. Because you know what it is? When you grew up and you were a baby, you were immediately influenced. Good example of this is you're a baby. You've got a new granddaughter, right? A baby, okay? Every time the baby meets someone, and it's mostly mommy, daddy, grandma, aunt, brother, siblings, they put a label on that baby. So think of it this way, a Post-it. A Post-it note is put on that baby almost every time you meet someone. And as they grow up, they get bigger and more people influence them with Post-it notes. This is who this person is. Mm-hmm. And so everything we do in our lives after the age of 7, usually I don't know, it came to me the other day, 7 is when we really get critical, when we start shifting over to the ego focus. But from then on, it's more about you're conscious of the other people and what they could do and the fear. And oh my goodness, you need to look out for yourself. And you don't always live in the love, you live in the brain, in the ego. But you have these labels, these biases within you. And what you have are going to be different than your daughter, than your uncle, than your neighbor, than me. It don't make a difference. You will all have different biases. The challenge is to realize you are biased.
Well, and Cynthia makes a really good point where she says raised in a competitive mindset. And if we think about what's going on right now in the collective energies, that, the new earth is all about coming out of that competitive warlike energy and coming into more cooperation. And so I really feel like, Cynthia, you kind of nailed it by bringing that up, because I think what this recovery period that we're kind of in, this theme that we've been, kind of channeling the past couple of weeks, is this recovery out of the competition and really, being able to change your perception and recognizing. And I love, Thomas, how they brought through like where we are and how we see things and how we've always seen things. And now it's like, okay, how can we come at it differently? How can we look at it from another way, which would be more in that cooperation and the new energy that we're coming into? And then we have Colleen chiming in, and this is perfect. The ego puts people against each other. There it is, the competition. We need to bring our focus back into living from a place of love. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So here we go. You have a situation. And the first thing we're always going to reply with and get into is, what was me for this situation? What if you say, oh, go back to the very beginning. Change the perspective from what was me to, well, what about the situation can I work with?
Mm-hmm.
What about the situation is good? And how is it good? How can I make it better? Or even better yet, what does someone else would think about the situation from their side? Because that is really big. When I taught social justice, it was a class that we started it. The first 8 weeks of the class, the college level course, it was all about self-discovery. It was all about understanding your own self. And we had it was such a diverse population in this class. I mean, and it was 2 classes. In one of the classes, the crazy thing that came out of this is we set it up as such a safe space. Someone actually stood up and shared the story of how she was raped.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
And I share that because the first thing was understanding our own bias. Then we understood, because what people do, and here's a great analogy of it. If you were in a classroom, if you're in a classroom and you are taking a social justice class, as it was, but down the hall from you is a AP or a anatomy physiology course. All right, for anyone that wants to be a nurse, you have to take anatomy physiology. All right, down the hall is an anatomy physiology course. So we would ask everyone in our classroom, what is your favorite color? Blue, green, purple, red, yeah, it doesn't matter. Everyone had different colors. Then we asked the question, what is the favorite color of everyone in that classroom? And the answer was one color. Because we automatically, in the way we think, group everyone together based upon biases, stereotypes, likes, commonalities. So we assume if you're from Buffalo, you're a Buffalo Bills fan. All right? We just assume it. It doesn't mean it's true. But what we need to do is understand whenever it's happening to us, one, there is a purpose for it. It's part of an agenda, and it's tough. It's tough. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like this answer, and no one does until you fully grasp it. You planned it to a T for the situation that whatever you're in to happen. You might not consciously as a human say, I would want that.
Yeah, right.
You planned.
Well, and also a lot of the stuff that you contracted or agreed to coming into this earth really had a lot to do with you changing and evolving into, the higher frequencies. And the only way you're going to do that is by changing your perception, right? Because if you try to stay in the lower dense energies of thinking the same way, playing small, like you're never going to ascend, you're never going to raise up. So a lot of the situations that you're brought to in your life, you agreed to go through those because you wanted to evolve. You wanted to have that evolution. Now, does it feel good in the human plane? Absolutely not. Are some of these situations absolutely shitty? I mean, talking about your student, I mean, that's one of the worst things that a woman can possibly go through, but it served a purpose in her life, whatever that is. But, in every life, if we're going to evolve, if we're going to grow, if we're going to ascend, we have to get out of the small, playing small, the denser energies, the guilt, the fear, grief, anger, resentment, gratification. We have to be able to flip our perception, flip how we see things, or we're never going to be able to get out of those things. And so this recovery of learning how to change your perception is really important so that you can ascend and move into those higher states of consciousness so that you can get into the higher dimensions. That's where we're going. That's where you wanted to go when you came into this life. So really kind of becoming self-aware so that you can see how you're seeing things, what your perception is really important. You have to do the self-awareness piece. And it's so ironic that we're having this conversation today because I actually sat down and I'm creating a workshop for the empath narc connection. And one of the things the empath has to do is become very self-aware of what they're bringing to the table and what their energy is that's kind of aligning with the narcissist that's coming into their life. So very, very, very interesting that, you know, on many different levels, we're learning how to really tap into how we think, see, and perceive things so we can make that shift. We can flip that switch.
So let's simplify it for everyone.
Okay.
So you're in a situation, something came up. I'm going to go back to the rules of mastery. That's what Bob should have for. Mastery. Mastery is the aspects and the traits of the masters of the world. The Shiva, Jesus, Buddha, Dalai Lama. What the common traits of all these masters came throughout all the world. Number one, finding peace in turbulence. I want to stress that one right now more than anything. Finding peace. Anytime you are faced with a situation that is causing you fear, angst, worry, anxiety, stress, that's not a good situation. It means you need to remove yourself from it in some capacity. It doesn't mean you lose the responsibility of that situation. It means you need to stop. Number two rule of mastery is you observe and not react. What we always do, the situation happens, and we react. So we haven't had peace. We haven't observed it. We just react. So if someone's attacking you, like not physically, but like saying things or whatever, you hear something, you're like, oh, I don't agree with that. You're hearing a fear-based message, whatever it is. Even yesterday when I heard this message, there was the message was one. The purpose of the message was one thing. How the commentary was what really drew my attention because it was fear-based. I didn't want to reply right away to everyone with the why. I needed to take the time to observe, have my own peace with it, which I did right quickly. Observe. Those are the first two things. The next one is not as important as these two in this conversation. The next one is just live in love. So if we can always live in love, no matter what happens, when you live in love and you take the choice of love, you will always do the right thing and you will always be in the right path. It's simple because it will, and it might not seem right away, but you feel this is a loving option. You might feel like I'm losing out. You're not. You're not, because when you choose a path of love, you don't know what's on the other side of that corner.
Well, and that's what can trigger some people is they don't know what's on the other side of that corner. So, you know, being that we want to be comfortable and for many of us, we don't want to be uncomfortable, which, you know, Spirit's always going to take you into the uncomfortable option because you can't evolve or grow if you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, right? So, you know, Colleen, I love that you're on this journey, honey, and that you are becoming very self-aware to know I didn't listen to my inner guidance. It didn't go well, but now I know that. And so you have taken a step in your evolution. And that's really, really, you know, pat yourself on the back. So don't feel like, you know, you're not doing well or you should be doing more. You're where you're supposed to be right now. And that's the important part.
I'm going to tell you now it went well because of what Melissa just said. You are where you're supposed to be. If you didn't go through those correct decisions, guess what? you wouldn't realize what you needed to do next. You would loop and loop and loop and not realize you're looping. You have to realize it to make the changes, to, however it is for you. But I want to go back to these choices. When you see that, how you perceive anything, find the peace in yourself first around the situation.
Mm.
If I can say anything, the number one rule is love.
Mm.
Do you know what the synonym is for love? You guys don't think about it. The synonym for love is peace. They're very similar words. Now, the love is such a big, giant definition. It's so vast. It's not just okay, but peace. And when you have peace, that allows you to do so many things, because peace is this love, this joy, this happiness, this your body is at a wonderful state where you can then truly understand, listen, feel, and to connect, be with yourself, your soul, and all around you. And it's this peace. If you find that peace in anything that comes up first, separate yourself. It means being objective. It is not easy to do because you are built into it, and you will always perceive why someone is doing it, and you will be wrong most of the time. You have to step away like you are the observer to a situation and truly listen. You may not like the answer. You may not agree with the other person or person, but you will understand. And they may not understand you, and that's their choice. But if you take the time to find a peace, observe and understand them, then think about the love inside of you and act in a loving way, which might be the immediate way you think you getting, your justice or whatever you call with it. And then don't speak ill of the others. Speak well of the situation. You will see yourself in a better perspective. You will see everything around you better, and you will flourish better. But if you can, the first two, you can separate yourself and find a peace. Observe and be willing to listen to all the signs without judgment. You yourself could change your perspective. And then you add the loving side to it, you will truly change what you think about it. And then you don't speak bad. And you speak well of what you want to talk about. And next thing you know, we're talking about the hot tea. And the hot tea comes up and I take myself away. Oh no, I'm finding tea. Tea is good. Tea is good. I don't, you know what, but I like the cold stuff better. And see, I love it so much. But the tea is good. You drink your tea. I drink my iced tea with lemonade. And I love it. And I think the tea is wonderful. It smells great. And I brew the tea. I brew tea. I put the hot tea into the cold drink, and it all gets cold. But you see, I'm talking about loving the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and even how the people watching are like, "Ooh, tea is good, whether hot or cold."
It's all your perspective. It's all your perspective. It's your very own perspective. So thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia chimed in with, must make peace with self before you can effectively share with others. Absolutely. And Aaron, it's all synchronicity, honey. We are having this conversation. You are where you're supposed to be. We're having this conversation when we're supposed to be having it. And those of you who will be finding this when you need it, it will be the right time for that also.
Ooh,
So
want another example? Ooh,
quickly.
Here's a good example. Okay. Honey, you're on here. The perspective is to live in love. And when you come on to other sites and you feel the need to say, I can help you and come to me. Leave what you're doing. That is from a fear-based reaction of a fear of yourself. A fear that you don't have the love inside of you to have the strength to get what you want. You are afraid you are lacking in your own abilities. That is why you are purely afraid living the old energies. And so I tell people, if you need to come onto a site and be the disruptor, or try to, as some people say, I don't like this word coach, love yourself. If you live in love and you speak in love, and the trick is you engage in love, do you know what is going to happen? When you engage in love and you engage in the right way, not in the, I don't have this, you need me. Because you're saying, I don't have anything and I need you. That's what they're really saying with the comments here. But when you come to the love side of it and engage in love and engage in conversation, you will find that you will open doors you've never thought would open before. And you will find a community of much greater fulfillment. And you yourself will realize what you want will come to you. And so you know who you are right here. I'm speaking to. The old energy inside you is about the lack of love you have for yourself. Listen to what we can help you, because we are all about the love. And when you find it, you will realize the engagement you have with others will bring you more prosperity and abundance than you ever could imagine. On the side note, that's what she did. If you need true medium services in your here, Melissa will charge. I tell you what I do for free because I'm really kidding. But it's not about that, because I will tell you now, when you live in love, your life will always change for the better. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And you call yourself tarot with love. You don't sorry, honey. Honey, we love you. And I'm sending you this love.
I'm not even convinced they're like real people. I feel like it's I don't even feel like it's real people. But yes, guys, we do not endorse any of the solicitors. We don't encourage any of the solicitation. So I did go through and delete and block. So please be very discerning with anybody that you work with that's calling themselves a psychic, a medium, evidential medium, intuitive, whatever. Be very discerning, because we just want you to be protected. But thank you for being here on this conversation with us today. Think about your perspective. Are you bringing the same old energy? Is it time to change up what you're doing and how you're thinking? All right, guys, have a beautiful rest of your day. We are sending you so much love and so many blessings. Thomas has a beautiful YouTube channel. Take a look in the description box for the to get to him. As always, you can find everything about me at guidance311.com. We got some great in-person classes coming up, and we've also got some things going on virtually. So I'm just thank you for being here with us, and have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Enjoy.